Please welcome Oliver, co-founder and managing partner at Paper Ventures. Hello, Oliver.
Hello, darling. How are you?
How are you? Where are you joining me from?
I am currently in SF.
Oh, amazing. How is it there?
It's okay. Full of nerds and virgins, but yeah.
Nerds and virgins. I guess. What about are you looking into, like the tech scene, like AI stuff? Is there any crypto conversations going on?
Not crypto really out here, to be honest with you. I think crypto's kind of no one really cares about it too much in SF at the minute, from my experience anyway.
Yeah.
Everything out here is AI. It's very lively, very, I guess, extravagant, and a lot of people are running around with pushing intelligence. I guess they don't really understand, but whatever. Generic shilling, I guess, which is flops
Yeah.
back very vertical, right? So. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you used to be an LP on other crypto funds. I don't know how many actually, but I know you were an LP on one that is very close to my history. And I know we've talked privately about this. I don't know how much you want to share, but I'm curious to see, because now you've been around for a bit. How is your experience going from LP to actually running a fund? Is it as easy as you expected? Do you feel like perhaps you're being too harsh? Like, what's the feeling around that?
I mean, running a fund is not overly hard. Like, there's just one job description, right? Like, make loads of fucking money. That's it. And unfortunately, being an LP in many, many funds, I can confirm firsthand that most of them don't do that. Ventures never change, right? Venture in general is just a Ponzi, right? So you can dumb it down, you can make it a bit worse, but like, it's just managers taking their management fee, right? Nothing's ever going to change, you know. DPI doesn't really exist, or hasn't existed much in the crypto side of things, unless where I've put capital anyway. There is some outliers, but most of those outliers, the good managers at those funds, have already sort of packed the suitcase and disappeared off to a new industry.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've learned something as you launched the fund for the first time that maybe would be valuable for anyone thinking about doing that?
I mean, my previous firm, the reason I left that fund was it just sort of grew too big, and like deploying sizable tickets like with a Sensive was just, you could deploy the ticket, you just can't really get out. There's no exit strategy on it. So I mean, on venture specifically, I think smaller funds are always going to be better. Like, it's great, you can go fire whatever a $2-3 million ticket at whatever's been hot the past year, Athena, Berachain, Celestia, yada yada yada, right? And get your 100x from seed, but like, you can't get out of that position. So like, you might as well have just only fired 250k or played something liquid, right? It's easy to spend money. It's very hard to cash the money out in crypto, especially on the liquid token side, right? So.
Did you guys you didn't fundraise, you just put your own money, right?
No, we raised for paper. This was 2023. Yeah.
How would you describe that experience? Did you find it easy or?
Yeah, I mean, it was only like a 25 mil fund, right? So obviously myself, Danish, and Avila already had track records. So like, it was pretty much closed within a week.
Oh, wow.
I think we're like 80, what are we? More like 85, 90% deployed now. Yeah, I'm not really into the 300-400 mil funds, right? You just can't. I get it, but I mean, most of the ones that I put money into, all they did was buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, and like, you really want to pay 2 and 20 on buying BTC and Ethereum? Like, that's just mismanagement from the manager side, in my opinion.
I think your position is really interesting, because like LP turned GP is like, I find it interesting. Like, what's the biggest lie funds tell their investors during market turn down?
They mark a lot of stuff up, you know, like a lot of managers mark stuff up high. Paper profits are not profits, right? I mean, the joke was why we called it paper, just laughing at everybody else. But I have some places I'm an LP in, like they have a $200-300 million position in pump.fun, or I'm like, why am I getting an email saying this is amazing, you've got a $200 million position in pump.fun? Like, I'd rather you just go sell that 200 mil position and send it to zero, right? Like, but you can never get out of that 200 mil position or whatever it may be, right? So
Yeah.
like, don't write it down, right? If you can't sell it and give me the profits, then don't write it down. But I mean, look, that's not the name of the game, right? It's paper profits, raise a new fund, get your management fee, pay your salary or whatever. Like, it is what it is.
So you call it like a Ponzi. So do you feel like you're running a Ponzi in some way?
No, I mean, like, I think it's more Series A funds sell to Series B funds, who sell to Series C funds, who sell to Series D funds, or whatever, right? But like, if you have all of those funds, you're just selling your own bags and marking it up, right? It's just, I don't know. There's so simpler ways to make money, you know, like just fucking press the red button and sell, you know. But maybe it's just a lot of think managers get sort of too high on their own supply, right? Like they get a project or a company that launches well, does well, and next thing you know, they think they're best friends with the founder, and like most of them just talk shit, you know. I think it's just generic, whatever.
When you say just press sell, you're talking about like liquid fund.
No, like when you have there's a lot of, even companies we've invested into, right? Like tokens launched, something's happened, like companies changed. We don't deem it a valuable investment anymore. Like, we don't just let it go to zero, right? Like, we exit the position. Like, that's our job, right? A lot of other managers just kind of, okay, well, we just write that one off and leave it to zero. Like, no, just go sell everything. Business is business, right? Like, not like, I don't know, I think everyone's just too, like, a lot of people on the venture side, they try to be very prim and proper. I guess very American, like just like generic bullshit. You know? I guess it's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. What's usually like when you're talking with companies, with startups, what's something that comes across as, and not something rare and obvious that you would find rarely, and it's very obvious, but something that you've picked up perhaps over time, or perhaps from being good at picking up things from people that you find for you it's a tell that it's not a good investment, basically?
That list is quite long.
It has to be something that wouldn't be so obvious, and that you find that it actually happens more often than people might think.
Founders finding a reason to take something that already looks successful and just make an add-on to it, you know. Glorified copy paste stuff. There's a lot of that. Man. That's you know, like I get the Hyperliquid, right? Great product, cool, whatever. You don't need lighter, you know. No one cares about it. I guess if you go speak to every market maker out there, hey, would your life change if lighter doesn't exist? No one gives a shit, right? Like, Hyperliquid's fine. We don't need another 50 perp dexes or whatever, right? And I'm not a hype holder, by the way. I've never had any affiliation with it. Don't use it, whatever, right? But like, product's fucking great. Everyone talks amazing about it. We don't need that another 20 more times, you know? Like, I think that's when it's very easy to spot that founders are just grifting, want to go raise a big amount of money or whatever, right? And then just go take salaries and stuff like that. That's a lot of crypto in general.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm getting a bit distracted because our next guest seems to be having some technical issues, but I'm listening to everything you're saying. And I bet that the audience is following as well. So from founder pitches, what's something you like about a founder, I guess, because you have a very, you have like an outlier personality. That's something that I find really interesting about you. And I would imagine the way you judge investments is, I don't know, but like perhaps a little bit different than a traditional VC. What is something that you look for, perhaps in character, perhaps in the way they work, that would be less common on traditional when I say traditional, it's more like common, well put together VC funds.
I like the founders that can answer the very basic, simple questions that most people don't ask them. That's
Mm,
a huge value add to us. Um, and it's like interesting. We ask like very basic things of, okay, what do you guys actually need? Like, what are you struggling with? Not marketing or fundraising. Don't give me like what do you actually fucking suck at, right? And the amount of founders were like, oh, like we've never been asked that question, and I'm like, why would you not just ask that fucking question? It's very like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's when you get founders that can just answer those very simple, common sense things, you know, it's going to be a lot easier path, or
yeah.
it's a lot easier problems to solve when things go to shit, which they always will with every founder. Like, always going to fuck up somewhere or other. But like how they're going to handle it, right? And with those very simple questions, you can see how they can sort of handle things under pressure, which is
Hmm.
if you can figure that out, usually then you're just betting on people, right? Which is makes it
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting to you right now in terms of investments?
on the crypto side or in general.
I'll ask double question. I want to know in crypto and outside of crypto.
In crypto, not a lot, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of stuff, but it's all pretty crap. I think crypto in general just needs to go back to the basics of what it was originally here for, like payments, transactions, and whatever, right? No one
Yeah.
needs to be, no one wants to wrap their Amex points and stick it into a fucking DeFi vault, like all this random bullshit that's getting fired around now.
Mhm.
And honestly, if it's just about making money, like, which it should be on the investment side, like, probably generic to say, but like, all the money has just gone to AI, you know, like, energy looks great, space stuff looks great, like, really novel stuff that's like so wild and out there. Like,
Robotics? Are you into robotics?
um, yes, I've not, it's cool. I've not sort of gone deep into it, but, and I'm probably not really going to, right? Like, if I want to know
Because
anything, I'm just call Andrew or something.
space feels like you're investing so far down in the future, you might not even see it coming. That's how it feels for me. Um, while like robotics and AI. Tell me.
Like, are you? I get that of like, but then are you an investor or are you a trader?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like, I think people would misunderstand the difference, you know. So like, yeah, will I invest in some robotics companies? Yeah, but like, it's kind of silly for me to go and do a ton of DD on stuff like that, right? If it's robotics and it looks interesting and it's like novel, like I'm just gonna call Andrew and ask his thoughts on it, or something like that, right? Like,
Right.
it's the I think people try and be an expert in things when they should just use their network, when the
Yeah,
network is always gonna be way more intelligent, right? Like, so.
totally. Totally. I obviously agree with that. So you think crypto doesn't have anything, won't have anything interesting going on, or you're sort of like waiting for something interesting to happen? Are you pivoting, or are you gonna just go check something else while this is sort of like cooking?
I think it's hard to say you pivot, and it's more just like my job is to make money. Like, I don't really care what industry that's in, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, if that industry is going to be whatever, pets or home goods or real estate, like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go find something different because that's boring as fuck for me. But
Hmm.
like, something in the tech and something weird and autistic and out there, like, there's loads of stuff, you know, like there's data centers being built at the bottom of the sea. There's people building companies where they're putting Bluetooth stuff around Earth, like so much like random shit that's like, okay, this is like interesting and cool. And like, venture is about taking those bets where it's like, this is like just a stone zero or like completely fucking insane. Um, you're not going to get that with another DeFi protocol, right? Or another perpdex or any of that stuff. Like, it's kind of flushed out. Industry's boring on that side for me right now. And even if it was making good money, like, there's just not enough liquidity there, especially to run like a large scale fund, in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay, so you're in a SEF. Obviously, all the AI stuff is happening there. I'm imagining you're looking into AI stuff. I've heard it's overpriced. I've heard that there's somewhat of a bubble. So are you not concerned with that?
I mean, I guess I think people, yeah, sure, valuations are high, but like valuations in crypto have been high for fucking 10 years. You know, like no normal seed round of a company should be starting at 40, 50 million, but everyone still fucking funds it. So it doesn't really matter. Like valuation is, yeah, sure, everything is always going to be overpriced no matter what, because everybody always wants something cheaper. So it just based upon what your exit strategy is. But I think most people, they focus on how do I deploy money in these sectors, not once my money is deployed, how do I get the profit out of that sector? And then you adjust your valuation based on that. Like,
So if you find something at a good price, it doesn't matter the state of AI, I guess.
the valuation to me is who is pushing and managing the company.
Okay, tell me about anything interesting you've seen in AI there in SF, because I'm a bit skeptical. I think everything is a little bit overhyped at this point.
Do you know what? There's a lot of stuff going on here that's not just AI. I think everyone sees SF as AI. It's not. I would probably say like, yeah, 40, 50% of stuff is AI, but like SpaceX, I guess, what do you class as AI? Right? Like there's infrastructure. So like I said, there's a company who's putting data centers at the bottom of the sea, or they're going to try and do that, right? Like
Data centers at the bottom of the sea. That's interesting.
yeah, the cooling issue or whatever, right? Like that's a pure venture bet for me, right? Like there is I'll try my best not to mention any names or whatever, but like, so I'll give you
I mean, you can mention whatever. So, you know, it's up to you.
there is a company I looked at about a week ago, which they are doing something with Bluetooth. So I'm going to butcher this explanation because I've only just briefly skimmed over the deck, but Bluetooth will pretty much now become Wi-Fi on there. So the Bluetooth will come straight from satellites and be crossed everywhere around the world. So if I'm in SF and you're in London, like I can send you a 100 megabyte folder or whatever it may be, like via Bluetooth. Like that's what they're trying to do, right? Basically extend the range of it to, I'm obviously butchering it, right? I'm not a technical guy, but like it's like stuff that like would just be very basic level valuable to people, right? Like it's hard to send a file and keep it sort of structured well, and if you zip it and email it, or it's airdropped, or if I send you something on WhatsApp, like it becomes distorted and shitty, like just some of those very basic level issues. And supposedly, like all the infrastructure, or I guess software, or whatever you want to call it, that is already pre-built into pretty much everyone's iPhone. So it's just a switch. Like a lot of random stuff like that, which you're like, oh, like that's very simple, like makes sense. I understand the basics of this, or this is just really massively out there. There's a lot of random novel energy plays. Like everyone's just make more chips, make more chips, make more chips, right? Like, sure, maybe in 5 or 6 years, there's just dump sites everywhere with a massive influx of chips and then no fucking energy or space to power most of these chips, right? So a lot of people are trying to solve issues like that. It's just the more fun, vibrant kind of shoot for the moon type of stuff that seems to be happening here. So, and I've only been here a couple of months as well, so I'm still sort of getting somewhat integrated.
Yeah, no, I get that. Did you feel like you had to like build a network there to find these deals, or you just went through, because you already know a lot of people?
No, luckily, everyone in SF is also a degenerate gambler, so a lot of them play poker. So it was very easy to build up, or I knew a lot of them from.
Yeah,
I guess sort of ICO
network.
and SF and crypto side was actually relevant, but yeah, it's been interesting to see a lot of people return or come back, or I know I've always thought SF was kind of, yeah, I've always thought FS was a bit of a shithole.
Yeah.
Like it still is, like it's still like pretty scruffy and whatever, but like there's something happening every day, every night.
Gonna stay there for a long time?
I don't know. I think you've always got to be in Europe for summer. So I'll probably go back to Europe for 2 or 3 months and then figure it out. I expect I'll be splitting most of my time between sort of Hong Kong and SF moving forward. Though.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be in Europe, so perhaps I'll see you around.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me for a few more minutes. It's been lovely to have you.